Hi, guys. Thanks for joining us for some more Real Talk Dog Talk. I'm Tori.
And I am Barb.
For those of you who haven't joined us before, if you have any questions or comments, you can email us at realtalkdogtalk@yahoo.com.
And for those of you who have been listening, we want to thank you for joining us again. And we appreciate you sending in those emails. And occasionally I even get a text. So thanks for that information. It really helps us put together a podcast that maybe you guys are interested in.
Today we have a special guest, Gabby Goo, who is from Mom's House.
She is a prospective breeding female that I have living with me, and she's also an ESA dog. Uh, Tori is a little annoyed with her right now because Gabby keeps putting her head on Tori's nose.
And licking my feet. Leave my feet alone. Cheese and rice.
So this will be an interesting podcast on our end because the girls are fighting.
Hey, if there's interference, it's her fault, okay? I'm not. I don't know, but I'm gonna.
So if there's a long silence at any point, you'll know we've had some technical difficulties.
It's intermission.
So today we're going to talk about the different types of collars and what might be most suited for you and your dog. Um, we we have certain types of collars that we prefer, and when our dogs are at home, even Tori, you don't make your dogs wear collars, do you?
No, unless we're going somewhere, they don't really need them.
Yeah. So we're pretty natural with the dogs at home, but when we do go out, we have a certain type that we like, and I always pick red because it looks frickin' fantastic on my dogs.
Any dog, really. It's
Yeah.
just a real sharp looking color.
Makes them pop. And I believe Tori's dog has one that says what?
I love Mom.
With a heart and a skull on it.
Yeah. Well, you can be cute, but you have to be cool too. I mean, come
Right.
on.
So it's a combo collar.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, what?
Cool for both of us.
Oh yeah. So a lot of people just pick up like a basic collar that's either leather or nylon, has either a buckle or quick release clip on it, and those are really great collars just for looks. The thing I always think about is kind of safety. Um, with the collars, I've also seen those ones. They got a whole lot of bling. They're gold
Yeah.
chains. And now, yeah, they've even got matching leashes too that are leather handle with the gold chain going down to them.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like a whole lot of homey looking collars.
Right.
And they do look fancy, I will say.
Yes.
But I always think about safety, and the type of collar that we really like is a martingale. And these are just the kind of collar that a dog can't slip out of. And I always, Tori's giving Gabby the finger.
Well, I'm trying to be quiet so you can talk, and she's trying to eat my plant.
Anyhow, so yeah, this is going to be an interesting podcast.
She's unfazed.
Yeah, she doesn't care what Tori says.
No, not even.
But the martingale is great because I always think about dogs backing out of their collars. We live in the country, so when I bring my dogs into town, there's a potential for them to back out of the collar. They could get lost, hit by a car, in a dog fight, if they end up roaming. So I really like them because they cinch up around the neck. They're very loose and comfortable when they're just wearing them. And then if for any reason there's tension on them, it does tighten up enough around their neck that they can't back out of it.
Right. You do want to make sure you get the right size because I have had a Tito slip out of a collar because his head was a little too small for the collar yet, but
Right. So yeah, it's important to size them right too, and they're usually adjustable to some degree, but you still have to have kind of a range where it will fit. And some do have Some actually do have the quick release uh, hardware on them, and some have they just slip over the head, and the actual hardware is what holds them together and stitching. So the kind we use is generally the ones that don't have a release. Well,
Yep.
you know, honestly, with Zeus,
Oh.
we have had him pop out of a collar that just has the plastic clip on it.
Yep.
And, you know, obviously he's a big dog and has a lot of power, but, you know, that's the thing is when I think about equipment, training, collars, I always think preventative.
Right.
So it really doesn't matter what area I go into when I'm dealing with these dogs. I always try to be a couple steps ahead of the dog so that I don't run into problems.
Right. Because, you know, and that can cause future problems. If one problem starts, you know, you never know what could happen. It's just better to just avoid the whole thing.
Yep. A little
Completely.
trickle effect can go on.
Yeah.
So those are that is my absolute favorite kind of collar is a martingale. Um, there, you know, there are choke chains, and those the dogs can't really back out of either. But I don't really care for them because it's a small amount of pressure, you know, circumference wise.
Right.
It's a small amount of pressure around the neck, and the metal is harsh on their fur and their skin.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing I really use the choke chain for, if you ever see me buying choke chains, it's usually to wrap around a dog kennel so that
Yeah.
then I put a carabiner on there. So I usually use them for my enclosures, but I've never really been a fan of using them on dogs. Do you remember when you were a kid, Jasper
Yes.
and Lolly were out playing in the yard? And let's see, Jasper, my son had put Jasper, gave him a choke chain.
Yep.
And they were just out there playing. There was nothing going on that was bad.
Nope.
Somehow, Lolly, who was my boxer, got her bottom jaw twisted around in that choke chain.
Yeah, I remember that was awful.
I don't even know how it happened. I'm running it through my head trying to think how in the heck that even transpired, but they were playing, and then they both started to freak out because she was hooked.
Right.
And what happened was Jasper went running around the yard, and Lolly was literally dragged behind him, and it was quite a,
That was an awful situation.
Yeah.
That was just nuts.
because they were panicking on top of being in a bit of a pickle.
Right.
And you guys were all pretty young. Travis was, I don't know, maybe 13.
Mm-hmm.
And it took, I think Travis and I were out there trying to get them to, because you can't cut it,
No.
can't get
Nope.
it off them. We had to get the dog stopped and, you know, turn Lolly's body to get her jaw untwisted.
Yeah. That was, it's a good thing Travis is a big 13-year-old because, holy cow.
Yeah, that was and you know, honestly, that was a collar he thought looked really cool on his dog Jasper, and I didn't even think anything of it when he put it on him.
Yep.
And after that, I was like, no,
Never
No.
again.
no choke chains in this house. We're
No.
not having them. So, I mean, it's not just hard on them, but freak things can happen.
I also feel like there could be, you know, if you pulled wrong on them when they had one of those on or something, that could possibly damage their throat, have some sort of internal damage if you're not careful, or again, some sort of freak accident or something.
Yep. And a chain you cannot cut.
No.
So
yeah.
you're kind of, I don't know, they were never allowed in our house after that. So that was a dangerous thing and a kind of scary thing too, because we did like our dogs.
Oh yeah.
What I have been using lately with the dogs at the kennel are they're actually a nylon version of a choke chain,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
and same concept pretty much. They just tighten up around them, and they're inexpensive. You get them at Walmart. Not that I'm plugging Walmart or anything.
Not
but
this
they're-
one.
Our Walmart has a little to be desired.
Mm-hmm.
But they're about 1.5 inches wide and So I like that they aren't like such a concentrated area of pressure,
Yeah.
and they can't back out of them just like a martingale. So we always think in terms of a dog, having the possibility of slipping out of a collar. And it's not just our dogs or big dogs. Little dogs slip out of their collars too. So
And they're
I,
quick. Okay, they are quick.
they are quick.
So,
But and there's no buckle on them. There's no latch on them. It's just they're looped through a D ring, and they are adjustable to size. I was kind of making jokes when I was bringing Gabby over here because I grabbed a collar that Ziggy had on, and the collar was maxed out all the way. 'Cause
he's huge.
he has a big head.
Yeah.
And then I went to get it for Gabby, and I had to take it down almost halfway. So um, I'm glad they're adjustable, so you can have them
Yeah.
for more than one dog for sure.
I keep a couple of those at my house too, just for extras and all that. I think they're great. They're a nice cheap option, and they work really well.
Well, and these, if there is any kind of tragic accident, you can cut them.
Yes.
And
Yep.
I would not hesitate to cut a
No.
collar if a dog was tangled in it.
Oh, yeah.
So, that's another thing about that.
There's Ivan. That was a leash, I think, but
Yeah, so accidents happen, and we don't want to have anything going on. So we just mention these things so you guys can be preventative as well.
yes.
They also have tactical collars, which I think are kind of cool, but a little bit bulky. And they're generally a wider band, which I am a huge fan. I don't care if you got a poodle or Great Dane. I like the wider band just for the pressure.
Right.
So it's just not so concentrated. It's more of a, if you think about like if someone's trying to stop you and they put like a string around your waist, opposed to, taking something like a towel and throwing over you and pulling back. It's
Right.
just a softer, wider pressure.
Yep.
So it's not so uncomfortable. But so these tactical ones are usually about 2 inches wide, which I
Oh.
love that.
Yeah.
And then they're padded and even have the main thing is they have a handle on them,
Oh.
so you can hang on to your dog, which
You could go snow skiing like that,
or sledding,
or sledding. Yeah.
anything. We are having technical difficulties today. It's fixed. Thank you, Tori.
I do what I can.
Oh, thank you. And typically the tactical collars, one thing that I do love about them is the metal, the quick release ones. They have the metal so that they can't break or snap. I mean, I'm not saying they wouldn't break, but it's always a possibility, but
Less likely.
less
anyway.
likely with it being a heavier metal like
Yeah.
that. So it doesn't really matter what type of collar or leash you choose for your dog. Whatever you like, you have to pick what suits you best. But the one thing that is important is to take a look at the hardware.
Right.
And if you have a bigger dog or a tricky dog, you might want to think in terms of, if the hardware is appropriate for the size or the type of dog you have.
Right.
Pit bulls are not very big,
They're not very big, no.
and they are powerhouses.
They really,
So,
yeah.
so I'm not just talking big dogs. I mean, there's smaller dogs that are quite strong as well. Even a little Jack Russell or something else too.
Mhm.
Those. So you just want to make sure that the hardware is strong enough to hold your dog if you're in a walking situation.
Right.
Now, I think these are the last two collars I was going to mention. They have the pinch collar and a prong collar,
Oh, yeah.
and they are very similar in concept. And I am opposed to the prong collar.
I don't like those either.
I just feel like is this something you'd put on your neck?
No.
Yeah, I mean, you hit the jugular with that, and it's all over.
Well, and I'm not sure why people look at those and think, I want to stab my dog in the neck.
That's a little extreme,
Yeah.
but yeah, I get where you're going with that one. And they have the little prongs that go all the way around the neck in sets of two.
Yep.
And the pinch collar is the same concept, but it's like blocks of plastic that kind of like dig in around the neck. And I know I got a dog from another breeder, and when he came to us, um, he actually had on a prong collar.
Oh.
And
Oh,
I was not happy with that, but I could see why they had it. The dog was just super strong and very energetic. So I'm sure that seemed like a good solution to them. And so since I've had him, I took the prong collar off right away.
yeah. Right.
And then we went with a pinch collar, which I thought was a little bit more gentle.
Yes.
And if you remember, he broke right out of that.
He did. Yeah. It didn't last long at all.
And I still have it. It's broken.
Yeah.
But that did not work for him. And of course, now actually he wears a martingale.
Yep.
So it still will put the pressure on when he starts to be a bit rambunctious and wants to yank me down the driveway. But then when he lessens up, doesn't have the pressure on, then the collar loosens up.
Right.
And I think really the dog, basically what happens is the dog learns that if you're going to pull, that's going to be tight.
Right.
If you back off, cool it a little bit, just walk nice,
Yep.
then it goes to a comfortable,
Yeah.
and it's not harmful because typically when I'm shopping for martingale collars, I look for the wider band.
Yep.
So he now uses a martingale, and I am happy to have him out of the prong collar.
I feel like it's, kind of a negative experience with the prong collar. Just,
Kind of.
well, you know what I think of it, okay?
Yeah.
So.
Well, and they even have the prong collars have the little black. They have little rubber, plastic things that go over the tip of each prong,
Oh, yep.
and it's supposed to be less painful, I guess. And I don't think that's really that much better.
I wouldn't think so. No.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that.
And I know some people would say, if you use a prong collar, they're going to learn not to pull so it doesn't hurt. But, I guess the whole concept of a prong collar I find disturbing.
Well, I do too, and again, not everybody uses them correctly. So, you could really end up hurting a dog if you don't know how to. Well, I don't think they should be used, but if you're going to,
Right.
so.
Yep. And I think that is true. You have to make sure to use anything right.
Mhm.
But, I got to say, I was doing my research on collars this week, Tori.
Yes.
And I read something, I don't know who wrote it, why they wrote it. It was referring to collars and picking one.
Mhm.
But they said that flat collars work for dogs that know how to walk on leash without pulling.
Mm.
And I thought, well, that's offensive to me
It's a bold statement.
because my dogs know how to walk on a without pulling. They can walk nice.
Yep.
And so is this statement saying that my dogs don't know how to walk nice on a leash because I have them in a martingale or a collar of that sort? Because, honestly, come on. I'm thinking preventative.
Well, anything could happen. What if say you got your dog on a walking along, everything's fine, beautiful day, something loud and extreme happens.
A semi drives by.
Yep, the big old air brakes go off. That dog, out of nowhere, that'd freak you out. Well,
what if an otter runs in front of him?
That, not here, but yeah.
Or a cat bounces down the sidewalk at your dog.
Yeah.
Anything could happen that would make a dog that walks normally quite nicely on a flat leash,
Yep.
or a flat collar with just a buckle or a release, could make that dog freak out
Mhm.
and back out. And I don't really think that there's any dog so well trained that it doesn't have some type of reaction.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know, maybe I'm being a little bit overly sensitive, but it just seems like that was kind of a odd statement because I don't think it really has to do with if your dog can walk nice with a flat collar on.
Right.
Because my dogs can.
Right.
I opt to put them in a different type of collar so that if anything does happen, what if somebody attacked me and tried to steal my money? Because I have so much.
Same.
What if someone tries to rob me and my dog gets freaked out or decides to go after him and gets out of the collar? Then they're gone. I'm broke.
Right.
I mean,
Out
then
of
what?
money and a dog.
Yeah.
I,
So to me, that statement is a little bit on the silly side because really, I'm not saying my dogs can't walk nice on just a plain old collar. I just don't want to have to worry about them leaving.
right. Well, yeah. That's like I said, that's a pretty bold statement. I don't agree with that information.
It does not allow for variables.
No.
So, and pretty much with any kind of training or handling of dogs, I think preventative.
Right.
So that is kind of something that was on my mind heavily since I read that.
Yeah.
So, also, with the flat collars, it's kind of fun because you can find. Actually, I just ordered a couple of collars today
Oh,
that
nice.
are flat ones. They no martingale, no nothing, but they are 2 inches wide, like I like, and they had some really fun metal decor on it. So
Yeah.
it was brown and black leather, and I thought it was super pretty. And I went on looking through that site, and I came upon some spike collars, and I don't understand them.
This is not where I was going with that. Okay.
I just, I kind of get the studded ones because I think they look, some leather and metal looks kind of fun on there, and
Yeah.
I think it fits certain dogs. I love seeing a Chihuahua with a studded leather collar. I think that is adorable.
Yep.
Not the dog, but the combination.
Yep.
And so, I saw these spike collars, and they were, I don't know, a good quarter of an inch spike.
I just think how many pokes I'd have in my legs, or
Yeah.
like, I mean, those are dangerous.
Well, Tori and I, for the last, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks, have been getting dog injuries.
Yeah. It's very non-convincing to the rest of the world.
Yeah, I got a kennel door to one eye, and then Ziggy got me in the other eye because he is super excited to see me.
Yep.
And then Tori just got it to the mouth with one of her dogs hit her square in the mouth with his head because he loves her a lot.
Yes.
And then I have to ask, did you guys have a talk about that?
Yeah. I told him how rude that was, and he needs to keep his head to himself. Okay.
And what were his thoughts?
Big dopey eyes at me. That's what it was.
Oh, that's...
I'm sure he knew what I meant.
So you hurt his feelings, really.
Yeah, which I'm the one with the purple mouth.
So, yeah, we've had I think spike collars would probably put us over the top on injuries.
Well, it's like you said, we're going to start looking like battered women, and what doesn't sound like more of an excuse than my dog did it.
It's kind of like my dog ate it.
I mean...
So we, and I think, I cannot even think where it was. I did see on the internet, in another country, they make these leather collars that have spikes that are like 4 inches long, and it's around the neck. And it's actually meant to, like, for their guardian dogs that are watching their animals in the pasture. It's supposed to help with, like, if they get into a scuffle with a bear or a wolf.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm thinking, do they need a 4-inch spike?
Seems excessive.
It does seem excessive. I don't know. Maybe they got some big wolves and bears over there. I can't really
guess.
remember where. I think it was in the UK. but I don't quote me on that one.
I'd have to Google it.
We do a lot of Googling in our lives. How do we fix things around the house? I don't know. We'll Google that.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
I was talking to a friend of mine whose son was going to come over and help with making some dog runs. And he said he didn't know how to do it. And she said, "Oh, I'm sure Barb does." And I said, "No, I don't. No, I just Google it."
Yeah, I find out. I don't already know. Come on.
So, we love Google.
Yes, it's so handy. Way better than Ask Jeeves.
Who is Jeeves?
I don't know. Some Monopoly looking fella.
Well, I'm not sure who Google is, but I like Google.
I like Google.
Anyhow, so yeah, so those are some of our more basic collars, other than the spiked one, that are common and people use quite a bit. But I think we were talking too about some of the electronic devices that are available for dog owners.
Yeah, and there are a few different kinds of electric dog collars. There's the ones that are pretty much just for like the wireless dog fence. Those do have an electric shock. Those should have settings, different settings. You want to make sure if you're getting a good collar, if you do choose to use any sort of electric collar for your dog, you want to make sure that there's different settings for it so that you're not just zapping the crap out of them.
Right.
And especially, if there's a size chart or something, for that particular one, there's so many different kinds out there.
Do they have size charts for those?
They do, yes.
Mhm.
It kind of depends on the collar.
Oh.
So it has like weight limits and stuff like that. So it's kind of.
So you don't want to zap a Chihuahua like you would a Great Dane.
Wow.
Okay, that was mean.
I mean, I love Chihuahuas.
So now the world knows Tori does not love Chihuahuas.
Then there are tracking collars, and those don't do.
We're having technical difficulties. Gabby and Tori are fighting over a collar.
She's gonna eat it.
Gabby is stalking Tori, and a smack to the ass on Gabby because Tori's had it with her. So you did a little bit of research on electric fences, didn't you? The underground type.
Yeah, I was kind of looking at different electric collars for dogs, and one of the main ones is for the wireless dog fence, and those do emit an electric shock to your dog. So if you are going to be using any sort of electronic collar, you want to make sure that there are different settings for the intensity, and that you're making sure that the collar is for your size of dog.
And does that come with like a size charting, or does it? Is that just something you have to Google?
Well, you could Google it. We do love Google.
Yeah.
But they should give you some sort of size chart for weight and stuff like that with the collar. And if there isn't, I might not get that one, because you want to make sure you don't want to be zapping your dog so bad that they're getting hurt.
Right. You don't want to do a Chihuahua on a Great Dane level.
Right.
And there again, you want to research any products you're buying for your dogs.
Yep. There's also a tracking collar, and that doesn't have any effect on your dog at all. It just has GPS built in so that when your dog is out, it's typically used for hunting dogs, field trial dogs, and search and rescue type dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just so that you know where your dog is if you can't see them, or if they're, off in the bushes,
Mm-hmm.
all of that.
Well, I don't know if I told you, the folks that bought our puppy Barrett,
Oh, yeah?
they're hog farmers, so that dog is out in the country quite a bit. And they purchased a GPS collar for him.
That's an excellent idea.
Yeah.
So those are always a good option, keeping track of your dog. And with dogs being so expensive these days, another really good reason to be just really keep track of them.
Yeah. I don't know what the GPS runs, but I mean, to me, it's a drop in the bucket.
If I remember correctly, it's right around $200 ish, depending on what brand you get
Oh,
and all that.
that's not that bad then.
No, and they do have ones that have more settings, and you can adjust. I believe I read that you can adjust the distance to where
Mm.
the GPS and all of that. There's also there is the training collar. Those were air quotes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, which is what they call the shock collar. Um, I don't really like any kind of electric collar myself. These ones they're meant to correct undesirable behavior. It has, and again, you want to make sure that it has different settings. If it is a shock collar, it can sometimes come with different settings, such as vibrate, or it can emit a tone for a warning beforehand. Which I think if you're going to use something like that, that's kind of a nice thing to have, because if you don't use a shock collar right, or misjudge the intensity to which you're setting it at, you could be causing psychological distress, causing phobias. You can increase the heart rate to an unhealthy level, which would make sense. And then you can burn the skin, you can increase the aggression, and it can be painful. You can burn the skin. You can increase aggression and fear-based behaviors. Positive reinforcement is always more effective.
Well, I've heard of, throughout my life, I've, listened to trainers, talked to trainers, dealt with dog owners in rescue situations, and even just people I know. And honestly, the average person should not ever use a shock collar,
No,
in my opinion.
I agree.
And I think even if it's extreme situation, um, before even thinking about any kind of device like that, I would seek out professional help.
Well, and that's a good point too, because people, as popular as any electronic collar is, but the shock collars are, they're really not recommended.
Yeah.
It's a last resort. It's something that you should only use if you have pretty much exhausted all other training methods, and it should be done correctly.
Yeah.
Which, again, you might need to talk to somebody about that so that you're not
Right.
hurting your dog and causing more problems than what you started with in the first place.
Well, that's the thing, it might seem like the answer, but you might end up, in a bigger pickle than what you're already in.
Right.
And I think oftentimes I've heard trainers say that the problem is that people don't have their timing right when they use shock collars. So that's really important, if you are going to use them, that you have, as as they're doing something wrong, you immediately respond, and you don't, linger. You have to, stay on it and be working directly with them, not sitting on the couch hitting that zapping button, every time the dog does something you don't like. So it has to be incorporated with actual training.
Right. There's also beeper collars, which those just emit audio signals so you can locate your dog. It doesn't affect your dog besides them being able to hear the tone that's in the collar.
So is that kind of like the same concept as like clicker training?
It kind of is, yeah. And it's a really, I think it's a good way if you're going to use any sort of electronic collar. I would maybe go with that route first.
I would agree with that.
And then they have the no bark collars, which I don't like those either, but some people feel like they're necessary. They don't have a handheld device. They're just activated by the dog's own bark.
We have Gabby sneezing in the background. Tori, I think, is about ready to terminate Gabby as far as being a podcast staffer.
That's
She's naughty.
no.
You know, the bark collar. I know a little lady who had or has a very small dog, probably about a 5 pound little dog. And she has a bark collar for this dog because it barks just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I had to chuckle, not at her, but politely behind her back,
Right.
because she followed the dog around saying, Jim, do I have to put this collar on you? James, come back here. Come back here, Jim. I'm going to put this, come here. And that little dog would run away and it'd bark at her, and she just stood there shaking that collar at him. And I think she really didn't want to use it any more than he wanted it on, but it seemed to be kind of a game of him barking at her while she was going after him with the bark collar.
She turned it into a game instead of an actual training anything, because it does not sound like she wanted to actually use that.
No. It was entertaining to watch, though.
I would have maybe recorded it.
Use it for a little blackmail later.
You never know.
Yeah.
You never know. So again, if you are going to be using an electric collar, just make sure that you're aware of your dog's sensitivity level, size. Just double check on all that stuff so that you know that you're using it correctly. And if you're not sure, check with somebody or do a little bit more research on it.
I think if you can find a local trainer, that's a really great resource. Actually, and they might be able to help you come up with an alternative to using an electric device.
Which would be my preference. I mean, I don't want to have to use any of that. I had rented an apartment and I had a dog, and the landlords bought me a bark collar for my dog, and I did not use it because, no.
I don't think he was barking.
I don't think he was barking either, but.
Anyhow, honestly, I hear all these devices you're talking about, and the only thing I can think of is, put some change in a can.
Well, yeah.
And if they're going to do something they shouldn't, instead of shocking them, shake the can at them and startle them,
Right.
The shocking them just seems so harsh.
Well, and again, it is not recommended. They're very popular. A lot of people use the different kinds of these electronic collars. They're a very last resort, and most trainers say just don't do it. There's too many reasons where it could go bad and cause problems for the dog when you already have issues. So,
right.
It's something that you just want to, like you said, check with the trainer. They might have an idea where you won't have to use an electronic collar, or email us,
We might have a suggestion.
We might.
At Primo Corso Kennels and Tori's house, we do not promote electronic devices other than possibly GPS.
Right. Yep.
So that is a statement I'm putting out there. We feel it's important to inform everybody and be fair on our information, which is why we're sharing this, but we do not promote that type of training. Well, we hope some of that information was helpful to you, and if you do want to have any comments on anything that was said or suggestions, remember you can always email us at realtalkdogtalk@yahoo.com. And we're glad you joined us. We hope to hear back from you next week. I'm Barb.
I'm Tori.
Have a great week.
Bye.